My name is Ryan. My friend Kyle and I have taken our barroom conversations to the internet in the form of Michigan's most up-and-coming sports talk podcast. From baseball to Bigfoot, we cover it all. You're in for a treat because you have found the Turbo and 2K show. What's up, 2K crew? Welcome to episode 34. We got a little bit extra on tap for you. Why? Because we motherfucking love you. That's why. And if you're watching on YouTube, you see this marvelous man sitting across from me. And probably the most magnificent piece of him is that mustache.
That's right, baby.
Look at that, internet. Don't make him too wet.
We just started. You got to warm up to shit like that. You got to warm up. But for those of you that don't know or don't recognize his voice, Mr. Christian Hutson sitting across the bar from me, right next to Mr. 2K's. And we got kind of a special show for you guys this week. This is probably the most controversial episode that we've had. And the plan is to have our first call-in guest, which is I'm actually pretty stoked about. Because if this works, it's going to be a lot easier to get a lot of other folks on the show. Because, I mean, Studio T is cool, but maybe not driving 45 minutes each way to throw down a 30-minute interview. Most people probably won't go for that. But we are coming to you on Saturday. We got the Notre Dame-Virginia game going on right now. Notre Dame's up 14-10 with a little under 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. So keep you guys updated on that. And yeah, we are in 2Ks. I did not tell you this because I wanted it to be a surprise. We have officially, just the audio portion, over 1,000 downloads.
Nice.
This morning we hit 1,003. So when I checked it yesterday, we were at 990. So we got 13 downloads overnight, which is pretty cool. 34 episodes or 33 episodes and 1,000 downloads. We'll take that.
Yep.
We'll take that. And our YouTube's going really well. I'm really impressed with, we've actually got some feedback from people. We've got some comments. We've got some likes. We've got a good part of view time. The only thing we don't have is the highlight show. So I haven't figured that out yet. But we'll get there. Joe Rogan wasn't built in a day. So what the fuck are you doing? I don't know what to do with my hands.
Adjusting my mic.
Well, it's good that we have Christian here because we bought that mic probably a month and a half ago.
This is the first time using it.
Yeah. We had to dial it in and make sure everything it was kind of even to 2Ks and me.
Yeah, you guys shunned me for a month.
I'm pretty sure that we invited him.
And he bailed on us.
And he bailed last minute, yeah.
Well, I didn't like the topic.
And as you can, I'm sure you can hear Morgan's clacking around here.
I went on strike like Antonio Brown.
Froze
my foot.
Froze your foot. Speaking of that, speaking of Antonio Brown and his helmet, let's do a little fantasy recap. How about that?
No, let's don't.
How about that? Well, I'm sitting 1-2. I'm sitting 1-2, and it was a hard week for the team coming off the Franklin loss.
It's hard to bounce back from that.
Yeah.
They're beaten and bruised. That wasn't just a loss.
Yeah, that was kind of an embarrassment. But I went into Monday night needing Montgomery to put up 30 points. After the first half, I'm like, not even fucking close. He had like 7. Mm-hmm. He ended up with 23. Yeah. So I lost by 7. Yeah,
he had a good game.
He ended up having a real good game.
I like him.
I do too. I wish they'd use him more.
Yeah, he's a rookie. I think you're going to see it more and more.
Yeah.
We're going to get more usage out of him.
I
think Tariq Cohen is going to end up just being strictly a slot.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I don't think there's any question who the best back is there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And looking over this, King Big Dick over here, 3-0.
Yep.
It's going down this week though.
And
I got off to a pretty good start on
it. You did.
I got off to a pretty good. Devontae Adams had a huge first half, but he ended up with a foot injury. I think.
mean, Carson Wentz didn't he didn't have a huge game, but it's a solid game.
Yeah.
The amount of points he put up, and he didn't have a huge game, that has outscored my quarterback all 3 weeks.
Well, you've had Newton, right?
Yeah. Cam Newton scared me the first 2 weeks.
If I had a decent quarterback, I beat him and I win. And I win week 2.
I don't know if you would have beat me.
I would have beat you.
That's all right.
I would have beat. He got me 30 points.
Christian's team is pretty legit. When you look at it,
Yeah.
they look like it. But he just said it. His quarterback situation has been the thing that's...
And then what else doesn't help is Ben Roethlisberger going down.
Yeah.
So Pittsburgh's always has been playing from behind, and James Conner hasn't done anything.
And then
and they've kind of... And that's the thing, like... For years, I mean, they had Le'Veon, so you knew that he was gonna take the ball. But even last year, without Le'Veon, Connor takes on the whole workload.
Yeah,
and this year, they're changing backs. I mean, there's 3 different guys that you see in there all the time. And like you said, it's a very good point. They have been chasing all the time, and probably when it comes to chasing, Connor's not the back you want.
No.
But yeah, and that's the scary thing with Pittsburgh. I don't know. They might be doing a lot of chasing this year.
Yeah.
And was it Mason Rudolph's the quarterback there?
He didn't look bad last week.
I like him.
I was impressed.
I like him.
I liked him at Oklahoma State.
I did too.
He has a big arm. Very big arm.
And yeah, so 2Ks is the only undefeated team, and Mr. C. Hut is the only
defeated team.
0-3,
baby. I got shout out to Troy Kaler last week. He beat me about 100 points last week.
Oh, that was a drubbing.
Yes.
That was a nice little drubbing. So yeah, I know I don't think we did a fantasy update last week, so I figured while we're on the subject, we'd get that out the way. But yeah, there's you two, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 2-1 teams, and 3, 4 1-2 teams. So
and another thing, Leonard Fournette ran the ball 14 times for -3 yards at one point. Until he broke off a 69-yard run. And it's just like, what's going on here? I think fantasy gods are punishing me for taking 2 years off.
That's what happens. Yeah. That's what happens. All right, boys. We're going to change a lot of shit up this week. We are going to get into our paycheck and onions picks. And the games so far that have finished with me from last week, I picked Michigan over Rutgers, which it was for all the Michigan nation. It was good to see Michigan actually back, I guess, kind of relevant. But I picked them over Rutgers, and I picked Central over Western, and did not get that. Oh, and Christian says at least you didn't lose to Franklin. Have you played him yet?
No, I haven't.
See, there you go. He's a sneaky team, bro. Sneaky team.
Oh, it's one game.
Well, he rides on the Bears. If the Bears do well,
yeah.
Last week was the only
right.
team the Bears put up any fantasy numbers, any of them.
Yeah, I play against them week 6, which is the same bye week for the Bears.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, I'm at a.
What week is Robbie Gould on by week?
This week.
I'm sitting.
Franklin, I love you.
I'm sitting at 10 points, and I want to say 2Ks you were at 12 going into last week.
Yep.
So
yep.
Where are you sitting?
Well, I'm looking. My onions pick last week was Virginia over Notre Dame, so that one's
in
still
progress.
have a chance. My paycheck game was Wisconsin over Northwestern, and that was a lot closer than what I expected.
That was.
Wisconsin,
Northwestern's defense is tough.
Yes.
Well,
They always are.
They always are.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Wisconsin had 2 pick sixes to contribute to that point total, and it wasn't a blowout by any means.
It just seems like Northwestern always rises to the occasion. When it's a big team, they always play them hard. I'm not saying that they beat them, but they always play a very, very respectable game.
And if they would have a quarterback, that would be a totally different scenario right now. Pat Fitzgerald, we're part of the Pat Fitzgerald fan club. But yeah, that was a shocker to me.
Huge fan.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, I know this is still a new game, but we pick a paycheck game where we're confident as fuck about. We pick an onions pick, which is our pretty much grab your balls and pick, and it's our upset of the week. And then we do 3 other picks.
Yeah, my other 3 pick-em games from last week were the one I got wrong. Thursday night game, I had the Packers over the Eagles.
It's a good game.
Was a very good game, and you can't say that very often about Thursday night games.
No.
Normally are pretty shitty, but that was a really
good game to watch.
There was a lot of controversy on the podcast that I've been listening to about Mr. LaFleur's play calling towards the end.
Oh, in the last drive there?
Yeah. They were wanting to know why they didn't run the ball,
Yeah.
But if I'm not mistaken, if Jimmy Graham doesn't have stone hands, the game's totally different.
Yeah. I mean, it comes to a last drive situation. I mean, it's hard to take it out of Rodgers' hands.
Exactly.
You know, I mean,
Exactly.
I get it that it didn't work out in this situation right here, but how many times has it worked out?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so I'm not going to knock him on that. It's very easy. Hindsight's 20/20. You know, you look at it afterwards. Very easy.
Especially with Adams out of the game.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going Jimmy Graham. Of course, and there was even some of the folks asking, well, why not even call a sneak or a bootleg or something like? It's still in Rodgers' hands. And then Rodgers ends up throwing his first interception of his career within the 5-yard line.
And another thing to look at, Aaron Jones, I think, had 29 rushing yards. You know, so it wasn't like anything was coming easy for him.
And 6 of those were to get them within the 5.
Yes. So nothing was coming easy running the ball there. And like I said, I'm not going to take the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. No. He's, your season's going to be made by him. Your season might be broke by him, but I'm going to make sure that the ball's in his hands, and I'm not going to be the guy that takes it away from him in that situation.
You know what? Fletcher Cox is probably the last person I want to run the ball at, though, too. That defensive front they have is no joke.
Yeah. So that was something that I had written down to bring up and then totally forgot. So I'm glad you brought that game up because there was a lot of hubbub about that. I'm with you. I mean, he is by far your best player, your best offensive player. And how many times has he done it in the past?
Yep.
A lot.
Yeah.
And for him to fall short this time, and for the dude to throw, I mean, he had over 400 yards passing or some shit, didn't he? So, fuck it, write it.
Yeah.
Write it.
Yep. My other 2 pick'ems are still, those games are played tomorrow, so we don't know the outcome on them. I had the Vikings over the Bears and Cowboys over the Saints.
I already brought up the the Western game and the Michigan game, but I have USC over Washington and Washington State over Utah and the Bills over the Pats. That is my Onions game. So let's move on to this week.
Hold on. Speaking of Washington State, the inspiration behind this mustache.
Nice.
Starting to miss you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We talked about him last. Wasn't that the time? Didn't we take like 5 minutes to talk about him last week?
Yeah.
He's like a walking legend.
I tell you what, man, he has surprised me. Like he is legit. He's legit.
Yeah. And I'm almost positive that I shared it in the Facebook group, the picture of him and Uncle Rico together. Yep. Yeah, that was pretty legit.
I mean, I know we haven't seen a whole lot of it, but these rookie quarterbacks in general this year have been very, very impressive.
Yeah, the Cardinals are not losing because of Kyler Murray at all.
He's doing great.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones, who we've probably ripped on more on
Danny
this show
Dimes?
than anybody.
Danny Dimes.
I mean, just fucking goes off.
Tell you what, if this kid for the Panthers has a good week,
I tell you what,
Cam Newton's gonna be struggling for a job.
I was impressed with that kid.
Yeah.
I was impressed with him. He can make all the throws.
Yeah.
And Cam Newton can't make a lot of those throws. Even when I don't care if Cam is healthy, he still can't throw like that.
Even Cam healthy in his prime was never, an extraordinary passer.
No.
He was a
deep ball thrower. That's about it.
He was an effective passer.
Run pass option, deep ball.
Yeah.
Well, he was one of the best running backs in the game for especially inside the goal line in goal line situations, you couldn't stop him.
No. So, Mr. C. Hut, our guest, why don't you give us your first pick'em game?
First pick'em, I'm going to go the Cowboys over the Packers.
Okay. That to me is probably the biggest game on the slate.
Yes, it is. That was a tough one. The Cowboys are playing good football. Packers defense, Thursday night was a little bit different, but their defense is looking pretty dang good this year.
Yeah.
But just watching,
surprisingly good.
Yeah. Just watching Cowboys offensive line. It didn't matter if Ezekiel Elliott signed or not. They could go pick up any running back. They're going to have a successful running game.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I mean, I just think that I don't know if the Packers can handle that that offensive line.
Yep. My first pick'em game is the same, Cowboys over the Packers, and pretty much for the same reason. You watched the Thursday night game, and if the Eagles can run all over the Packers the way that they did, I mean, the Cowboys might be the best rushing team in the entire league.
And then Dak Prescott, he's benefiting the most from it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Play actions. It's there all day. It's there all day. Yeah.
Well, that and
he's looking good.
When looking at the Cowboys, it's like ever since Dak's been there, they've only been using like 3/4 of the playbook. This year, they're like,
open it up a little bit.
Here's the keys. Fuck it, let's go. Let's go.
They have a little bit more speed on the edges too, though.
Yeah.
And the wide receivers, it's freaking that Gallup kid.
Yeah, and he's out right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
He
was one of my star pickups.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's going to be good, and he's probably going to be back within the next week or two.
He's good.
And not to be forgotten, but how much is Jason Witten actually helping?
Yes, a lot.
Well,
yeah.
And he's the veteran presence there, too, that they needed.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the biggest things with Dallas so far has been the offensive coordinator change and going with Kellen Moore, being younger. The game has changed. Offensively, it has changed. And what he's done so far with this offense...
Well, he's gonna be the head coach of that team before too long.
Absolutely.
Let's just cut to the bullshit.
Moore.
Absolutely agree.
The pride of Boise State.
Yeah.
Yep.
The sexy lefty.
A couple years ago, he was playing quarterback for...
Was he the one that... Yeah, he was the one with the Statue of Liberty, or the hook and ladder, the infamous hook and ladder, and statue. Yeah. Yep. He was...
Well, my first pick'em is I'm going the Texans over the Falcons. Texans over the Falcons. The Falcons to me have been a huge fucking disappointment this year. They're sitting at 1-2.
They've been a huge disappointment for a couple of years now.
Ever since the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And it's not their offense; it's their defense.
Yeah. Now, if there's any coach in the NFL that's really on the hot seat, there's your guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's not a whole... I mean, the Texans are probably 1 or 2 plays away from being undefeated. Mm-hmm. And, they... Week 2, I believe it was. Yeah, that's when I played Frank.
When Drew Brees?
Well, no.
That was week 1 when with Brees gets him in field goal range to beat him.
That was crazy.
Yeah. After Watson throws a touchdown pass with 20-some seconds left. Yeah.
And then week 2...
What a game.
Deshaun Watson doesn't even have... He has a rushing touchdown, and they win a very close game. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they're just... they're a hair away from being undefeated. And that division is wide open. Mm-hmm. Wide open. I don't think you can sleep on the Colts in that division because Jacoby Brissett's looking pretty legit. It's a totally different team from when Luck was out the first time.
Happy for him.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Me too. He seems like now... One piece of advice I would give him is when you're taking Instagram pictures or pictures for anything to use online, don't look homeless.
Speaking of, Tariq Cohen, man, if I was Kyle Long, I'd be kicking his ass.
Why? What did I miss?
Tariq Cohen went Instagram Live, and in the background, all I could see is Kyle Long schlong just hanging over his shoulder, just carrying a conversation with somebody else. No regard for anybody else in the locker room. Tariq Cohen's all dancing and whatnot, and Kyle Long just back there hanging wang.
Should have put it on his shoulder. Should have put it on his shoulder. All right, Mr. 2Ks, what is your second pick'em game?
Second pick'em game, I went to the college level, and 2 Big Ten teams, 2 teams that I really dislike a lot, but I'm picking Ohio State over Michigan State. Michigan State's their defense, I think they're gonna maybe limit Ohio State a little bit, but in the end, you can't stop Ohio State, and Michigan State can't score.
They might slow down Justin Fields a little bit.
Yes,
I'm right there with you, and we'll kind of expound upon that game a little bit later. Mr. Seahut, what's your second pick'em game?
Speaking of Jacoby Brissett, I went Chiefs and Colts. Chiefs over the Colts. I think it's an intriguing matchup, it's a divisional matchup, but no, it's not.
It's an AFC matchup.
Yeah, it's AFC, but it's not divisional. Yeah.
Conference matchup.
Conference. Chiefs are so dang good.
Yeah. All around. Even with Hill out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Hardman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might be just as fast as Tyreek Hill.
Sammy Watkins.
And I think all around I think he could be potentially more skilled than Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm. And
But Sammy Watkins, that's another one. I had him on my bench against you in fantasy.
Yeah, thank you.
He goes off for 40.
40.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was very pleased when I saw that. But no, he's having a career resurgence.
And I mean, you spend a lot of time in Buffalo, and it's rough.
Dude, Josh Allen's got Buffalo playing legit.
Well, now, but
back then, no.
Yeah, when you have Kyle Orton and
Fitzpatrick, when you go from that, and then you step into what the Chiefs have going on.
Patrick Mahomes
and Andy Reid might be the best offensive mind in the entire.
There is not a throw that Patrick Mahomes can't make.
Absolutely no.
That is so
impressive.
Off his back foot in the back corner of the end zone.
Yeah,
he's like watching Aaron Rodgers 6-7 years ago.
I'd say he's even better.
He's like a Madden cheat code.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah,
he really is. And
speaking of, have you played him in Madden?
Have I played against him or played with him? I haven't played with him. I played against him.
But no, there was a. I'm trying to remember which. I've got addicted to. I want to give you guys the right one here, but I found it's the Pick Six, which I know is a very odd and lame name for a podcast, but it's part of the CBS network, and Brady Quinn's on it, and to me it's very odd to hear Brady Quinn curse.
Yeah,
but he's dropping F-bombs.
Really?
Oh yeah, not Dallas Braden style.
No, well, it's hard to
Dallas
top
Braden
that.
style. But it's like he's always been in the shell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being on ESPN, being on TV. But when you go in the podcast realm,
well, being a Notre Dame quarterback in general. I mean, the only one that took it and ran with it was Tommy Rees.
Yeah. I mean, Jimmy Clausen, I can see being.
Yeah, Clausen had his moments too.
Clausen.
I've heard stories.
I love to party with him.
Yeah, I was gonna
partying with him one time at Gravel Lake.
Yeah, I was like, I've heard some pretty epic stories from Gravel Lake about him and that crew out there.
That crew was wild. But Brady Quinn's a grown ass man, guys.
Dude, he can do
whatever he wants.
I know, but it's.
You seen his wife?
Maybe it's to me because I'm still new to listening to podcasts that. You know, you're always used to listening to the radio where they don't swear.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay.
It's so much better to listen to, though.
Oh, God,
when people are actually real.
Yes.
Instead of
scripted.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But this Pick Six, they did a portion of it where is Mahomes the best quarterback ever?
Oh, yeah.
Not, I mean, we're talking athletically.
I'm not putting him...
Not athletically, I don't think he's...
No, I mean, I'm still not putting him over Aaron Rodgers at this point. Now, talk to me 2 years from now, maybe I will.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying that he has a chance, but as far as talent-wise goes, Aaron Rodgers is the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, and that was pretty much their consensus was give us 3 or 4 more years.
Right.
It's a little too early to...
You know, you make the... I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league, because I still say that that's Brady.
Yeah.
But the thing... Rodgers is... There's a lot of...
Unreal.
No, there's a lot of ifs with Rodgers as far as now talent on the field, what he can do, especially what he could do before a lot of these injuries.
Yeah,
right.
I'd put that up against about anybody, but
Aaron Rodgers is so...
I question with Rodgers a little bit of what is he like in the locker room? What is he like as a teammate? And that's what I don't question with Brady. You know, he just wins.
Brady's locker room.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. After did you see all the Packers players when they dressed up as the Happy Gilmore cast?
Oh.
You didn't see that? Oh my gosh, he dressed up as Ben Stiller. He just pulled landscaping duty. He had the mustache at the time and everything. It was great. You guys didn't see that?
Uh-uh.
Oh, that was amazing.
You spent too much time on Instagram.
Deshaun Kaiser was Chubbs. It was good.
All right, well let's kind of reel this back in and kind of get on track a little bit here. My second pick'em game is I chose the Auburn going into Florida, and I'm picking Auburn over Florida. There's Malzahn's got them boys rolling. There's too many question marks in my eyes with Florida. Now, the quarterback that came in after Franks left, I think he's better than Franks, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. You know, you and I talked about after that Miami game. Horrendous quarterback play on both sides, but one kid was making his first ever collegiate start. So that's I'm taking Auburn over Florida. I think that's kind of a no-brainer. But Mr. Christian, what is your last pick'em game? Did we get your second pick'em?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I figured nobody would do it. I went Notre Dame over Bowling Green. Duh.
Unreal.
Notre Dame, going into last weekend against Georgia, I didn't think they stood a chance. I thought it was going to be a blowout. I really did. But they they gave themselves a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they had a chance to win. And we were all at the bar together. They run that flea flicker.
I was fucking irate.
Yeah, flea flicker. I mean, that's high risk, high reward.
Yeah, but in that spot, why do you call that?
Right.
Especially because you haven't ran the ball that whole drive.
But the whole time it was, can Notre Dame stop their running game? And you know what? I think they ran for quite a few, but it wasn't nothing outrageous.
No.
It wasn't. And Fromm struggled. I think Fromm is going to be a stud.
I mean, he was my dark horse Heisman.
Heisman. Yeah, he's a legit. Mm-hmm. And I thought Notre Dame was just. I was impressed. I didn't think they would win. I'm a realist. I love Notre Dame, but I am also a realist. Georgia is. When we did wins the SEC.
When we did our college breakdown, that was the Notre Dame. I didn't pick Notre Dame to win either. Yeah. So, 2Ks, what is your last pick'em game, my friend?
I'm going back to my old Wolverines. I said I wasn't going to do it last week, but I guess I'm going to go back with them again.
Last week you said you're fucking done with them.
Yeah, and I'm still pretty much there.
But still done with them?
Yeah, right, dude. They beat Rutgers today.
Shut up. But no, I'm going Michigan. Michigan did look a little bit more promising today over Rutgers. I get it. Rutgers suck, and I mean, it's not much to take out of that, but
just the energy they had today
was a little bit more energy.
Yeah. Was that because the offensive coordinator was on the sideline instead of up in the booth?
I don't know what it was, but
his khakis were a little tighter.
I'm going with. I'm not, and probably when this comes, I don't know when this. There's not a line for the game yet.
No, not
Good
yet.
chance that Michigan's probably going to go into it as an underdog.
Oh yeah. I was already won today.
But as a Michigan fan, I would feel fucking embarrassed to ever pick my team as an underdog. I'm not going to do that. So I'm putting them in my pick'ems.
Okay.
And I'm going to pick Michigan over Iowa. I think they get it back together, and they should take care of business, being that it is at the big house. That's kind of where I'm giving them the advantage. But Iowa always freaking plays them tough.
I'm going the complete opposite route. I'm going Iowa over Michigan. And that's not me being a hater. Mm-hmm. If you guys remember, I picked Michigan over Rutgers today.
Ooh.
I know. Stunning.
Wow. You went out on a limb.
Way to put your dick on the table.
I know. Hey, when you're only swinging 2 inches, man, you kind of have to be selective with it. But yeah, Iowa's always been that team. I mean, you and I have talked about it at great lengths. You know, a
couple of years ago when they took out Ohio State.
Yeah, yeah. So,
and not just beat them, but kick their ass.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was a beatdown.
Yeah, it was like a 30-point loss or something like that. Now, if this was in Iowa, I'd say it's a no-brainer. I would move that to my paycheck game if it was in Iowa. The only reason I'm not putting it as my paycheck game is because it's at the big house. Mm-hmm. Michigan plays way differently at home, which most teams do.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just like this Notre Dame game, one of the first things I told Kristen before even the Georgia game started, I was like, you know what? Notre Dame does not play well in white. Mm-hmm. It seems like a night and day team. Now, however, that game against Georgia went to change my mind a little bit, but traditionally they always play better in blue. Mm-hmm. They always seem to play like garbage the last few times they've worn green. Granted, they haven't worn green in a while. But even the Shamrock series where they have the goofy uniforms, it's either hit or miss. Mm-hmm. So
I like the Shamrock series uniforms. It Notre Dame's all about their traditional helmet, stuff like that. I like them expanding. Mm-hmm. Okay, what's gonna draw recruits? They want the coolest gear, not the. Yeah, my dad wore that same uniform in 1978.
See, I'm the
Michigan's
opposite.
the same way. Yeah. Michigan wore the same shit for years, And one thing I will say, and I fucking hate Notre Dame, but I love Notre Dame's helmets probably more than any football helmet there is. I just think something about that gold helmet.
Notre Dame and Michigan's helmets are iconic.
You know, probably my second favorite helmet after Notre Dame's though was Penn State.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just the basic, plain, nothing to it.
See, I loved it when Notre Dame still had the gold helmet but had the green shamrock on the side. I thought those were cool as hell.
Yeah, now if
I hated when they did the pinstripe series.
Yeah, that was horrendous.
That was stupid.
Well, that and I fucking hate the Yankees. So, all right, gentlemen, are all of our pick'em games out of the way? Let's go into our paycheck game. Mr. 2Ks, lay it on me. Give me your money. What do you got?
Paycheck game. I'm going Patriots over Redskins. It's hard to pick against the Patriots right now.
Redskins are dog shit.
I mean,
yeah, the Redskins.
Redskins are bad. Let's
give
face it.
Dwayne Haskin the ball.
I agree.
Yeah. Now, would I have given him the ball the second half against the Bears? No.
Why not?
But get the kid killed? No. Give him a week to prepare to go
Second
into that
half
game.
was a completely different game.
Yeah.
It was, but the only reason they didn't move the ball more because their damn quarterback sucks. Case Keenum sucks.
Well, Gruden is pretty much
he's
tied his wagon.
Done. He's done.
Tied his wagon. Oh, yeah.
He's done.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about, I mentioned Dan Quinn there in Atlanta being on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Gruden's the next one. I mean, those two both are probably going to be without a job.
I would say Gruden's is hotter. Gruden's is hotter. I mean, that thing's been on sizzle for a while.
Oh, yeah. But the thing with the Redskins is, like, you look at them on paper, like, who really expects them to be good?
You're right.
I think people look at the Falcons and think, they should be good.
They should.
They should be good. They have a proven quarterback.
They
have maybe the best wide receiver in the game.
I was going to say one of the top 3 wide receiving cores.
Yes.
If you include Hooper in that.
Yes.
I mean.
Yes.
And then Devontae Freeman coming back from injury. We didn't know what we were going to get.
Who's been nowhere to be found.
Coleman's long gone. So where's the running game coming? And you're right. Freeman hasn't showed up yet.
No.
So
and I know, and maybe some of that is on the offensive line. I mean, I don't follow a lot of Falcons football, but man, those are, like you said, 2 coaches that are probably gone after this season.
Yeah. Mr. C. Hut, what is your paycheck game?
Taking my Bears over the Raiders. I think Khalil Mack is going to be a freaking wrecking ball that game.
Is that in Chicago or in Oakland?
Oakland.
Ooh, the return.
Yes, I think
return of the Mac.
He is going to be a
return of the Mac.
Complete wrecking ball.
I think so too.
He's gonna
be up Derek Carr's ass.
I would agree.
I here's the thing. I really, really like John Gruden.
Yeah,
I do.
I do too.
I think he's out of date right now.
Oh yeah.
He's out of date. Mm-hmm. But
and Carr's not a bad quarterback.
No, I liked it. I've always liked David
Me too.
Carr. I have always liked him.
Me too.
I just think Khalil Mack is going to be on a mission next week.
And I mean,
when he brings that energy, the other guys follow, and it's dangerous. That defense is dangerous.
And we're part of the Jacobs fan club, so I mean, and that kid hasn't had a bad start to his career.
No, he's been good.
And that was one of the things we were wondering about is he's pretty much all their offense. And I think with their record, you can kind of see why. Do they miss Cooper? Yeah, but who wouldn't miss a number 1 receiver?
And Cooper never even touched the surface.
Yeah.
Cooper never even touched the surface in Oakland, like what he did. Well, like what he's. And I think it was a stat that I just saw. And now I'm ballparking this, but I want to say he played like 38 career games in Oakland and scored 10 touchdowns.
That's about right.
And he's played maybe 12 games for Dallas. I'm ballparking. I could be wrong on this, but
12 is being rather generous. Yeah,
12 games in Dallas so far, and has 14 touchdowns.
Yeah.
See, like
Prescott has time to throw the ball where Carr didn't.
See, 2 years ago, he's borderline MVP till he gets hurt.
Yeah,
absolutely. We've said that a lot.
Yeah, he was borderline MVP. Like if he doesn't get hurt,
he probably was.
He probably won the MVP that year.
That was the last time the Raiders
he
made the playoffs.
goes down. They bring in a new coach, and who was it? Was it Jack Del Rio?
Yep.
Jack Del Rio and he's a good football mind.
Yes.
Then again, it might be someone that's a little.
That's why I think
outdated.
John Gruden might be out of date. I think he's holding things back. I really do.
Yeah, he's holding Antonio Brown's helmet back.
No, that guy. He's going back to Central to get his degree in
if you
waste management pickup.
If you listen to Drew Rosenhaus, there's teams lobbying for him, and now he's actually suing the Raiders now. So
he's an idiot. He is an idiot.
My paycheck game is I'm going back to the college game, and I'm taking Ohio State against Michigan State. Kind of for the same reasons, 2Ks that you took them, but I'm putting them up there as my paycheck. This is going to be a 3-score game at least.
Well, like I said, I think Michigan State will slow Ohio State down a little bit, but you can't stop Ohio State. Right. You have to be able to score points to beat a team like Ohio State, and Michigan State can't do that.
Okay, and let's go around and do our onions game. I'm going the opposite of 2Ks, and I think I'm taking the Packers over the Cowboys. Taking the Packers over the Cowboys, I think it's going to be. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be like, you know what, fuck last week. I'm going to throw my dick on the table, and mine's going to be smaller, but I'm throwing it right next to him. We might even touch dicks. So 2Ks, who are you going out on a limb for?
This one was kind of hard. I had to really look up, trying to find some different upsets.
Right.
One of them that I was going to pick that shocked me was Florida right now is a 6-point favorite against Auburn, and you had that as one of your pick'em games. Yep. So I was like, I'm not picking that for my paycheck game or for my onions game, because if you have that as a pick'em, then what fun is it for me to use it as an onion game? That line shocks me. I don't understand it. Auburn is the better ranked team right now, but Florida is without their starting quarterback. So I don't know. So I'm going away from that game. I'm going to the NFL level, and I'm picking the Seahawks over the Rams.
I almost went that route. I almost touched that game, but I would have went the other way. But I had my eye on that one. That's a good onions pick.
The Rams are the favorite.
No, that's in Seattle, correct?
Yes, and that was why I went with it. Yep. The Rams are one of the best teams in football this year. Mm-hmm. The Seahawks probably have the best home field advantage in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, by far.
Playing there, and that's why I went there. And they also have a guy by the name of Russell Wilson who just figures out a way to get shit done.
Yep.
All the time.
Including Rihanna.
Yes.
All right,
Sierra.
Sierra. Mr. C-Hut, you just goes to show how much pop culture I know. Who is your onions pick, my friend?
I went Michigan over Iowa.
Ooh. Michigan over Iowa.
It was tough. I mean, like, that's a tough one to do. But
that's what the onions game's for, bro.
Yeah,
that's what separates the man from the boys. Is the paycheck game.
I think Michigan will play with a purpose next week.
They have no other choice.
Exactly. They have no other choice. Get themselves back on the map.
We talked about Gruden, and we talked about Dan Quinn being on the hot seat, and Jim Harbaugh has the hottest seat that there is in all of fucking sports right now.
I think so too.
There's guys. There's people throwing off in social media this past week that they want Urban Meyer at Michigan.
Yep.
That's where Michigan has fallen to, is they want Urban Meyer.
Would you take Urban Meyer?
You know what? I'm a Michigan coach. Or I'm a Michigan fan, and I would probably, right now where it stands, now 5 years ago, Harbaugh was the savior. Harbaugh was going to do it. He was going to bring Michigan back to the promised land, and he hasn't done it.
Would you take Urban Meyer?
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you.
Absolutely. I don't now.
People don't want. Because he coached at Ohio State. Who gives a shit? Is he going to win?
Yeah,
he's going to win.
Two things. There's one thing I don't like about Urban Meyer is I think that
shadiness.
Yes, there's a lot of shadiness there. I get it that he wins and he's always won, but there's a lot of shadiness that goes on with his programs, and I don't really respect that out of him. I respect the hell out of the way he coaches. I respect the hell out of the way he recruits, because he's probably the best recruiter that there is in football.
He doesn't climb trees with recruiters.
Yes,
with recruits,
but he brings in a top class everywhere he's been. Now,
I can just so picture that though. Harbaugh just like showing up, knocking on the door, and just be like, the parents open the door, and he's just like staring at the tree, and just like gives them the finger, and just like, I'm gonna go climb that tree real quick. He's just that type of guy. But have you ever heard the joke? A racist, a preacher, and a murderer walk into a bar. Well, it was Aaron Hernandez, Tim Tebow, and Riley Cooper. They all played for Urban Meyer.
Yes. Yes. So And I mean, and another thing that one reason why I think that could be a possibility that Urban Meyer ended up at Michigan.
Money.
Yes, but I think Urban would see it as that would be the thing that would put him over the top as a college football coach. Like True. He's taking over. He turned Florida into a fucking powerhouse.
Pretty much put him on the map.
Then he went to Ohio State that already was a powerhouse and did his thing there. But can he go into a system where historically maybe probably one of the biggest, I mean probably the best college to go to and coach historically. I get it that they haven't done shit recently, but historically what they've done, can he go into that when everything is down? Because that's what Jim walked into it when everything was down.
And won with Brady's recruits.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the big things.
That's been the thing that's been. But you can say the same thing about Brady Hoke.
Yeah,
Brady Hoke walked into and won with Rich Rods.
Yeah.
You know what Urban Meyer's dream job is? It's well known. I mean, like he said it multiple times.
I really don't follow him. What is it?
Notre Dame.
Oh, there you go.
He said
that's where he started out.
He said it before he took the Ohio State job. He said there was 3 jobs that he would take: Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
There you go.
Jerry, when he was wide receiver coach at Notre Dame, he went to school in Ohio to recruit this wide receiver. And this kid is burning by everybody, bigger than everybody, faster than everybody. He walked up to the coach and said, introduced himself, and the guy looked at him, he goes, "Don't waste your time." He goes, "What?" He goes, "That's the next Michael Jordan." Urban Meyer's like, whatever. Went and talked to him anyways. You know who that kid was? LeBron James.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, boys, I shouldn't even say boys, ladies and gentlemen, this is a first for the Turbo and 2K show. We're having our first live call-in, and we're going to get to the meat and potatoes of this episode. So give me 1 second here while I dial our special guest. I'm not sure if it's... There it goes.
I can hear it ringing.
Yeah.
Hello,
can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Turbo and 2K's crew, we have a special guest. It is Jamie Simpson. Jamie is a Dowagiac alum, and we're bringing him on because we have a special topic for you guys today. So, Jamie, why don't you take a couple minutes, introduce yourself, tell everyone where you're from, what you got going on.
6'3", 245, run a 4.540.
Ding.
That's pretty funny. Well, I appreciate the soft intro, and pleasure to be on the show with you gentlemen. I hope everyone's having a great day.
Fine as wine, my friend.
Awesome. Well, kind of to elaborate a little bit further, we'll be talking sports. So basically, I graduated from Dowagiac, and I played Division I baseball and football at Western Michigan, and then I finished up with just baseball at Eastern Michigan. And I was also drafted out of high school by the Phillies as well. That's kind of my background, but I recently moved out to New Jersey for a new career endeavor that's going very well. So I'm actually driving around New Jersey, just finishing up work for the day myself. And I just had a beautiful baby girl about a month and a half ago. So God is good, and we're definitely blessed right now.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
So, Jamie, let's get down to, well, the four of us know the topic at hand, but let's introduce our audience. We're talking about where it's becoming a hot button issue, and even hotter lately is paying college athletes for their likeness. And the reason why I thought it would be really cool to bring you on is you went. I mean, we've got 2 college baseball players sitting across from me, but you went a little bit further with it. So I think between the 3 of you and then me, who never even got past high school, we'd get a better grasp of kind of the landscape, kind of where you see things, where these boys see things, and kind of get a little behind the scenes, if you will.
Certainly.
So let's start out with there's a California put together a bill that said that they're going to. It hasn't passed yet, but there's been a proposed bill that California lawmakers are going to allow colleges to pay athletes for their likeness. And in my eyes, this can be kind of a slippery slope. So let's pop off with you, Jamie. Where do you sit on this with your experience because you were a top level collegiate athlete? Where do you sit on this?
Mm-hmm. So first off, I kind of want to preface everything by saying that I love having these kinds of discussions. I call them discussions. They're not really arguments because no one's right or wrong. This is all opinion based.
Exactly.
But I do think that everyone, regardless of what topic and things that we're talking about, deserve to hear your side of the opinion, the exact opposite side of your opinion, and then let's put each other in a box and kind of act like we're a business owner and then see that opinion from, afar. Mm-hmm. So now we're working with 3 different perspectives and learning the pros and cons of each perspective and then making a more educated choice and decision about what your actual opinion is when you're faced with facts in that kind of capacity.
Exactly.
So I think a lot of people fail to do that, and they just only kind of hear arguments, and a lot of people just unfortunately we talk a lot and we try to respond or rebuttal rather than to truly understand what the opposite person is trying to articulate. Absolutely. So I just kind of wanted to preface it with that.
No, you're good,
going
brother.
on.
You're good.
So I definitely believe that college athletes should be paid to their likeness. Simply because, and here I'll use a good analogy. Now a lot of people feel privileged because, we're on scholarship and we did that. Well, that is true, but it's the same thing for academics of some sort as well. If you get academic money, why is that different than getting scholarship money? It's the same principle, but it's different. And we have more of a magnifying glass on ourselves because we're representing the school particularly. But, if just a normal academic, if something were to happen, it's kind of people, they bat an eye about that. It's not that big of a deal in my opinion. So put it this way. Let's say you're a very, very good accounting major. You're one of the smartest accounting people in your school, and you're being courted by Goldman Sachs. You're being courted by the best top accounting firms in the country, right? You're not a student athlete or anything, but they're flying you to all these places. They want you to come work for them. They buy you meals. They buy you all this stuff. What is the difference between that and then getting paid as a student athlete? It's almost the same principle, and I think people kind of struggle just because of its exclusive. It's very exclusive group. A D1 athlete is, so it's just like, well, you're a D1 athlete. That's a small group. We don't want you to feel like you're privileged. Well, I mean, yeah, we are a little bit, but I mean, we worked to get to that point. There's a lot of work.
Oh, absolutely.
Not everyone can be a Division I athlete. Mm-hmm. Everyone can go to school if they would like to. And I kind of, one point that I mentioned for Christian was that, let's count, on your hand, how many of our friends went to college. We know probably half of them a lot, right? Mm-hmm. But how many of them actually graduated? Mm-hmm. Right. Not very many.
That's a good point.
It's not easy to graduate regardless if you're playing a sport or not. Mm-hmm. But imagine having a full-time job, basically, physically and mentally, while taking 16 credit hours in every single year. So as a freshman, you have to be 25% completed towards your degree. As a sophomore, you have to be 50%. You have to be reaching these numbers, while you're still, being demanded at all hours of the day. There's really no break for you in that. But in my mind, it's just, if people want to utilize you, so let's say Kyler Murray for Oklahoma last year, right? Mm-hmm. How many people are walking around wearing Oklahoma #1 jerseys? How many people know Kyler Murray? How many people would buy NCAA football video game for quarterback #1 on Texas A&M? We all know who that guy is. Mm-hmm. We all know what's going on. So, I mean, at that point in time, I feel like it's just right, because if he wasn't in sports, if it wasn't sports oriented, no one would have an issue with that. And I think the slope that you were kind of talking about is, where do we draw the line? Like, what players get paid what? And exactly. To be honest, I haven't spent an exuberant amount of time on the process of that, the solution actually, which is what we need to do. I don't have the solution on top of my head, but like you said, if there's jersey sales, if everyone has the same exposure in a sense, and then someone else is doing better, that person should be paid more. Maybe the quarterback of a team is going to make more money per se than the left guard, simply because no one knows who that guard is, unfortunately.
Except his parents.
So do you think it'd be best if there was just like a set in stone, this is my money that you'll make this year, because each college is different, obviously, judging on the program, a set number and everybody's paid equally? Or do you think that kid that's selling more jerseys should get more money than the others?
I'm okay with either, to be honest. I'm open ears for solutions on that.
Right.
That's different. I don't want to say, hey, it makes sense to me both ways. I think it would be easier to kind of give everyone the set amount of money, so then there's not much, legwork to struggle behind. Right. It gets a little bit more hairy when you have to try to figure out finances.
Yes. Yeah. And it'd just be like a pro sport.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's basically in my opinion what the NCAA is. It's just a regulated body that profits off of.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? We both played, or me and Kyle played baseball at JUCO. It was a full-time job there. All right. D1's a little bit more demanding, and you played both sports. And that's why I wanted to get your opinion on this, because it is a full-time job.
Absolutely.
It's a full-time job and more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not opposed to not, college athletes not making money. But my whole point that I brought up was the NCAA, it was that kid that he didn't get granted a transfer because his mom got sick. Well, my thought was I just feel like there's both sides that are being taken advantage of in this whole situation. Kids not making money in the NCAA because that Tate Martell, he was deemed eligible to play. Mm-hmm. Well, why wasn't this kid when his mom had a brain tumor and he wanted to move closer to home to play?
Right.
I didn't understand that.
Or like Justin Fields coming from Georgia and Ohio State.
Yep, exactly.
Right. No, exactly. And they get to pick and choose. And to be 100% honest, I wish we live in a perfect world that, everyone just did the right thing all the time and people didn't take advantage of systems and situations, but that's not reality.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, I would like to do the right thing most of the time. And if we could actually trust governing bodies and things of that nature to do what's best for the people and what the actual right thing is, then we wouldn't be having this conversation, because no one would feel exploited or taken advantage of. But we live in a money hungry kind of greedy world that kind of puts money more of a precedence over how we treat people, which is unfortunate. But to kind of get back on point, it's just I 100% agree. It definitely makes it a little bit more hairy when we don't know the exact solutions. And I think the best thing that we can do now is, start to play with the schools and understand. I was like, okay, the top tier schools, not every school even turns profit from sports. Most of them are actually in a deficit. Right. So the big schools like Michigan, Texas, Florida, USC, the top schools, they make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. I don't know how we disperse those funds, but there's a lot of smart people much higher than my pay grade that can kind of help out in that capacity. Right. But I'm all for kind of solutions and helping that. Like you said, I think that the easiest solution right now to kind of do that would just be, every player gets a slice of the pie. It's going to be small, but something is better than nothing because you weren't getting anything before. And I'm definitely okay with that to start until there's a better solution brought forward.
And there's another thing. Jamie, when you were at Western or Eastern, on the baseball team, how many kids were on full ride?
Oh, no, so that's the fun stuff. No player in Division I baseball that I know of has ever been on a full ride. Now, you might get like 90% or 70% or 80%,
and that's if you're legit.
And that's if you're super legit.
Yeah.
So I got 70%, and then the rest I was blessed. I had academic scholarships that kind of helped act as a offset.
Okay.
So they kind of wrinkle some ways in there to make it seem like it's functioning as a full ride. But no one ever gets a full 100% ride for baseball.
But when you were on football, part of the football team at Western, how many kids were on full ride?
So basically, I think
what percentage?
There's 100. Yeah, there's 120 or 100 kids totality on the team, and every Division I school, I believe, gets about 60 scholarships. Okay. Mm-hmm. And football and basketball are 100% full rides.
Right.
So that's how that works.
Well, those are, historically, those are the top two money-making sports.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
definitely.
Now, Jamie, this is part of the slippery slope that I was talking about. And I'm 100% in agreement with you to where there should be some sort of payment or stipend or some sort of compensation. I'm not one to where, your education is your payment. I get that, but but like you said, at the max you were a 70% scholarship student or scholarship athlete. So there, and I mean, I went to Western. We hung out with some of the basketball kids, some of the football kids, some of the hockey kids, and every one of the it's college life. You want to go step out, you want to go hang out with your friends, and I get that. So I am right there with you when it comes to that portion. And you kind of alluded to where the slippery slope that I was talking about is, where do you draw the line? You hit the nail right on the head. Do you only pay college athletes in the sports that bring in the money? And then I'm going to throw this out there, which is going to sound completely asshole-ish, but what about the girls' sports?
Mm-hmm.
If perfect example of that is UConn. UConn's best program, I think, hands down,
women's basketball
is women's basketball. Yeah. Notre Dame, probably the football team and the men's basketball team bring in more money than the girls' team, but the girls' team is right up there, especially with the guys' basketball.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, and this is kind of off topic, but we're going to kind of circle the wagons here. If, let's say, for instance, you were let's take Zion Williamson, and we all know in the current spectrum, he's one and done. But let's say in a perfect world, they change that to where if you go into college, you have to spend 2 years in basketball. If you're to take any collegiate athlete and actually let them major in their sport. So, for instance, if Eastern or Western gave you the opportunity to major in athletics, meaning you could, your weight room time would be counted in. You'd be taking, money, accounting. There we go. I'm stumbling on my words here. Accounting classes, how to present yourself, and classes that led up to you being successful as an athlete. Kind of the same way, like I went for engineering. They're preparing me to be the best engineer when I get out. Would you be? Is that something that would benefit collegiate athletes if they offered that option
to major in athletics?
Yeah.
Okay. When you major in it, where do you go from there if you don't make it to the pros?
Yeah, because that's kind of to be honest. If I'm being 100% transparent, most athletes, and this is a big generalization, so everyone don't yell at me. I'm saying they're probably not the brightest people of all time. And once you go into
I'm sitting across
college,
from one of them.
Exactly, and I am one myself, so I'm talking about myself. Once you go into college, right, and you sit down with the academic advisors and they kind of get a gauge. They go over your SATs, they go over your scores. They kind of get a feel of actually how bright you are. And based on that principle, they kind of guide you of what classes and what majors that they think they're going to be able to keep you eligible for.
Right.
Not that it's actually what's best for you to do, but what's actually going to keep you able to play football, the reason that you're actually in school.
Right.
So at that point in time, most of these kids, if you look through, I don't know, you can pull up Notre Dame or pull up Michigan and look at the kids and what they're majoring in. You'll see some Parks and Recs. You'll see some kind of outlandish degrees that have absolutely no
communications
and
yeah,
just stuff like that, and that does nothing. At the end of the day, how good is college? Because we're at the aspect now. It's just is it worth to be in $150,000 debt for a degree that I don't even know I'm going to be making, $30,000 after I graduate, when I can just go to a trade school and learn how to be an electrician or HVAC or plumbing and make way more money, because those are skills that are going to be always necessary.
Yep.
And maybe they focus on that aspect too. Those aren't very sexy jobs. I think once people kind of go to college, they kind of get thinking in their brain and inundated with, becoming a white collar person when, that's not really who they are.
Right.
I don't think a lot of people need to be honest and kind of say, are you are you really smart? Are you applicable? And yeah, once you put your mind to something, you can do something. But I mean, not everybody is bright enough to go get an engineering degree. So,
Right.
accredited university is just not going to happen.
And
So go ahead.
I was going to say the reason I brought that up, and I completely understand that, very few collegiate athletes make it onto the pros. I mean, it's what, 4 or 5% maybe, and
less than 1%.
I was going to say I was probably being generous with that, but
yeah,
it's and now granted, like I said, this is someone that hasn't lived in that atmosphere. My thing is that I would rather offer that, and if you want to pursue that, go ahead. Even though I went to Western as an engineer, did I ever get an engineering job? No. Granted, I never looked for one, but that's a different story. But getting a degree is not, in a certain area, is not going to guarantee you the position you ultimately want. What I'm getting at is, if you gave athletes that option, structured the curriculum around, granted, you would still have your gen eds and shit like that, but your main curriculum be kind of around, once you get there, how do you handle your money? How do you handle this? How the situations that would come up with that? And I think we would see. I'm not saying a lot more athletes go down that road and actually complete their degree before they get drafted or whatever. Because let's be honest, if you're going to get drafted, you're going. And there's a lot of folks come back to school and do their thing, which is fine, just fine. But I bring that up because mainly to be a different option than paying athletes. It's kind of a whole different kind of avenue you could go down. Like I said, I agree with you that athletes should be paid. I'm throwing that out there, but I'm one of those people where I'm not just gonna throw this out, be like, I agree with this, I agree with this. I want to give another kind of a backdoor solution to maybe this could be another option to where your curriculum is based around your schedule, based around, you include your workout sessions in it, to where it might open you up a little bit to, pick up some extra work, or pick up, you're doing stuff online and getting some extra money, that type of deal. So
I wholeheartedly agree, and like you said, regardless of opinions on the situation, we owe it to ourselves to do the due diligence and put all the talking points on the table at once.
Absolutely.
Right.
So then we hear every side of the story, and then we can make a more educated guess and try to figure out the best solution possible instead of just taking your side or our side.
And like my point I was making when we first got on this topic, Jamie, was I'm not against paying athletes, but I really, really feel that I feel like some athletes are taking advantage of the system, which is obviously going to happen. And I definitely feel like the NCAA is taking advantage of a lot of, money-making situations.
The NCAA is taking advantage of everything.
Everything, absolutely.
And it's just, and that's the point. Where do we draw the line? I do think athletes should be paid, but is there a way to do it? I don't know. Will there ever be one? I don't know.
Oh, one more point I kind of wanted to bring up. I'm sure you guys all saw Mr. Tebow's rant as well.
Yes.
Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right.
That
I agreed with some of the things that he talked about. But another big issue as well is, like I said, some of these guys aren't the brightest kids, but also look at their situations.
Right.
It's a lot easier.
Right.
It's a lot easier to say that the kid shouldn't get that when you come from a very privileged,
exactly
environment and grow up to say, hey, maybe some of these kids didn't have anything growing up, so now we're stopping them from being able to actually provide for their families in a way that's never happened for them before. And who are we as people to kind of say, oh, we're going to kind of control that because it doesn't seem right, or what I'm saying? Now, in a perfect world, kind of like I mentioned, if we all grew up in the same environment, then nobody needs to get paid because then we've all came from the exact same place.
Right.
And it makes sense.
That's just not,
you absolutely chose that.
Right.
But I just don't think it's right to kind of cap somebody just because people, you came from a better situation, and that's not everybody's fault. Not everyone started from the same starting line.
Off air, that was Kyle's big thing was about people coming from different walks of life, different situations, and and if kind of bringing back your perfect world scenario. I mean, yes, Reggie Bush would have never got in trouble for his mom taking money and shit like that. And
another thing, the NCAA is taking advantage, but so are like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour.
Oh, yeah.
If they're going to pay kids, they have to be a part of that.
They pay the schools,
yeah.
They pay the schools hundreds of thousands of dollars every year for them to be seen wearing their Nike uniforms and jerseys, and the school makes all that money, not the kids.
Okay.
And who are the people watching? The people are watching the school. The school's name happens to be on their jersey, but they're watching the kids that are out there because they're the product.
Yeah, but I wonder how much money are they making, off their apparel, like those brands that they, sell separately from the school. Probably quite a bit. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. So they should be also, if there's going to be a pay, they have to be involved in this.
Well, I mean, the perfect example is Michigan and the Jumpman. I mean, they were the first school to have the Jumpman logo on their stuff.
Now, Jamie, did you put
exclusive rights?
Yeah,
Jamie, did you play college football when you had to wear the gray cutters gloves? Or the gray gloves?
No, they were. So I didn't have to wear those. So how it worked for us at Western, we were Adidas sponsored, so we did have to wear all Adidas gear. So the socks, the cleats, girdles, everything that was showing out on our jerseys outside, had to be Adidas. And we had a sponsorship with Cutters at the time, so our gloves were Cutters. So we had to.
Didn't they have to be gray at one time? College football gloves had to be gray or something like that.
They've had some kind of rules. That sounds vaguely familiar. I can't tell you off the top of my head, but that does sound like a rule that was once a thing. And another issue like that, what kind of rule is that?
Yeah.
Tell me what color gloves I can wear.
Yeah. And just to let you know, I thought you were very underrated at NCAA 08 or 09.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I mean, a 47, bro.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, I remember Kling brought that up.
Of
course. Kling would.
My boys in the video game, they're like, "Dang, dude, he's not very good." I'm like, "Thanks, guys. Good to see you in the game too."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you had a horse cow or a neck roll, didn't you?
I'm sure. I probably was extra white. Extra white with an extra big lineman face mask. Big bulky shoulder pads.
They were 27 too.
Yeah. RB number 47. Right?
Yeah. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
RB.
Yeah. By the way, I hope they end up bringing that game back up.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
That's like the greatest franchise. I mean, it was a great game.
I'd much rather play that than Madden any day.
Oh, yeah.
But to say, I know plenty of people that still. I think 15 was or 16 was last year with Nard on the cover, maybe.
Yeah.
Or might have been the year after that, but I know people that still play it all the time. They actually update the roster still right now, so they're current.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Sorry, we're totally not ignoring you, Jamie. I just got a message on my phone that Clemson's tied 14-14 going in the fourth. So I was like, holy shit. Yeah.
Who were they playing? Virginia?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay.
Notre Dame's got Virginia, which they're closer than I want them to be. They're 21-17. Still in the third quarter. But yeah, it was an alert that came through my phone that it's 14-14 going in the fourth quarter. So that's kind of scary.
It is.
But, I mean, if you look at it, Clemson really hasn't played much of anybody. So
they have.
Maybe that ACC is a little bit tighter than what we think. You never know.
I got a good topic. Let's talk about this real quick.
All right, lay it on us,
Did
brother.
you guys hear? Did you hear Urban Meyer when he already anointed Trevor Lawrence as the best quarterback ever to play college football?
No.
Urban Meyer said that?
Urban Meyer said that.
Really?
So you can probably look it up and find the. Yep, he had a video.
He's the best collegiate quarterback ever, huh?
Ever. So I was like,
he had Tebow.
How could you take Trevor Lawrence? Yeah, Tebow, or my example was 05 Vince Young.
Yeah.
Or Cam Newton in college. I was like, there's no way if I have to win one game that you don't take a Cam, a Tebow, or Vince Young over.
Especially right now.
Yeah, no way. There's no way I'm taking him over Cam Newton.
No.
He single-handedly beat Alabama by himself.
Yep. Yes.
And then or like Deshaun Watson. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous. Like, there's no way you could pick Trevor Lawrence over those guys. There's just no way. Or even Mike Vick. Think about him in college.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, he even had Tebow on his team though. Holy smokes.
Yeah, true. Well, Tebow's I'll take this to the grave. You know, Tebow's only bowl losses to my boys in blue up north. Michigan beat him, gave him his only bowl loss.
Yeah.
That was the year that Michigan lost to Appalachian State when we should have
But you beat
the
Florida.
national title.
Lloyd Carr's last year.
I lost a lot of fucking money on that game, by the way. On the Florida game, not the Appalachian State game.
I'm bald now. I think I lost most of my hair.
Hey, join the club, brother.
I'm not too far behind you guys.
That's right. Hey, by the way, you're looking cut, man.
Oh, thank you.
Looking great. Good work.
I'm a little beefier now.
Yeah,
But
good.
I am going back down on a cut now.
Yeah? Training for another show?
I'm gonna take some time off.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was a blast. I definitely enjoyed the process and doing that because it was 110 days of diet and I did not cheat one time.
Nice.
Yep.
Like I weighed my food every single day for 110 days.
That's a whole nother sport that it needs to be talked about another day. That's that is pure heart and dedication and the struggle, man.
Jamie, when this YouTube video goes live, I'll send you the link so you can check out Christian's tries because he was he's actually flexing right now too. So
he's beefy. I like it.
Yeah, you already know.
Well,
you already know.
What's beefy is that fucking lip sweater he's wearing.
Yeah,
that's fucking luscious.
Flavor saver, baby.
It's fucking luscious.
Yeah. So I caught a little bit of the Michigan game, and they're so underwhelming to me. It's so disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Kyle gave up on him last week.
I know. He told me that earlier, and I don't even know the word to explain my emotions about Michigan football right now. It's just this is so bad, and we don't have. And I mean, countless times we can count up all the best guys that we have. So think about, our best player of recent memory was Jabril, but besides him, look, we had the number one player. There was Rashawn Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're supposed to come in and be the best player in the country, and be like Jadeveon Clowney and dominate. And he didn't do that.
No.
I know he gets double blocks. He definitely made impacts for games. But Rashawn, you're supposed to be the number one player. Exactly. Yep. And he still dominated, Yep. At that point, it's just like, dude, your athleticism is so much more in college.
Yeah.
It should not matter.
Yep.
But we don't have any, like, dogs is what I call it. Like,
your third string quarterback looked fucking legit today, bro. I am a huge fan of his.
Is that Milton?
I'm so huge. I don't even know his name. Kyle, what's his name? Milton.
Yep.
Yeah. Granted, it was garbage time, but I don't give a fuck. That kid looked legit.
Yeah, and my other big qualm was like, why? I like Shea. I don't have anything against him, but our season, like, we're not that good. I don't think we're gonna have a chance to do anything. We can't win a national title. We could if we go undefeated for the rest of the year, but that's not gonna happen.
No.
Why
Michigan's schedule is hellacious coming forward.
Why don't we play our younger guys?
I agree with you. Get the guys in there that are going to be there in the future.
Exactly. Shea's gone after this year.
Yep.
Let's go with Milton. Let's see what we have.
Yep,
So now's the time, especially against Rutgers. Like, let him start against a team like that.
Yeah.
Now against
especially when Shea was,
when we need to beat them, then put Shea in. But when we're playing teams that we should be handling, let our young guys go.
Especially when Shea was banged up going into this one. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. I didn't get that. I thought Milton should have started for sure. But.
Yeah, dude. Your boy Walt was all over it. He if he could have held Milton's dick to the game,
he definitely would have.
Which
I'm gonna give him some love. Shout out Balo Fit, baby.
Balo Fit, you know it.
Yep.
And you know what? I don't know his whereabouts. Maybe he did.
That's quite possible.
It would not. I wouldn't put it past him. Him.
He may like Michigan football more than me, and that's saying a lot.
Well, did you watch our video from last week?
I did not get a chance to see it, but I will check it out.
We one of my friends who, oddly enough, I don't think is a big football fan. He just thought the shirt was funny, and believe it or not, I'm a big guy, and I was swimming in this goddamn shirt. and it was an Urban Liar T-shirt, which was, and I'm not real good at editing the video portion of this. The audio I can edit with my eyes closed, but the video portion I'm still learning.
Are you using Pro Tools, or what are you using?
I'm actually just using iMovie right now, which I need to step my game up, and I'm pretty sure that'll make everything a lot easier.
Yeah, Jamie probably knows everything about this.
You're right. I do. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, but
you should use Premiere, Adobe
Premiere Pro,
Creative Suite. Yeah.
And so at the end of the video, I didn't even know it, but there's an up close picture of me panning up with this T-shirt. So it worked out perfect. I clickbaited the shit out of it. Said it was our first sponsor. So
That's funny.
Speaking of T-shirts, I'm wearing my Three Rivers Cheer T-shirt.
Oh, geez.
Well, it's my girlfriend's daughter's senior year, and she's a cheerleader for Three Rivers, obviously. And they had to reschedule their homecoming game till 4:00 today because of the weather last night. So I couldn't be there in person, so I'm being there in spirit. So I told her I'd wear the shirt on the podcast. So.
Oh, that's very sweet of you.
Oh.
It is. When my daughter gets there, trust me, I'll probably wear the same cheerleading outfit to her to the game.
Well,
cheering with her down there.
Now I'm gonna set the bar for you, Jamie, because I'm gonna set it pretty high.
Okay.
On the back of the shirt, my girlfriend's daughter's name is Lily. On the back of the shirt, it's personalized. It says Lily's Turbo.
Lily's Turbo.
Yep. So step your game up, bro.
Is it bedazzled?
No.
It will be now. Now you said it will be.
Yeah, that's what I would have did. I would have bedazzled.
There you go.
It probably would have matched your bedazzled jeans too.
Yeah. I'll live by this quote. I love it. I'll never forget it. My coach, baseball coach, Coach Jay Alexander. He's a great guy. He's actually the president of the PAL, Association Athletic League up in Detroit area right now. But we used to, for baseball practice, and this is a great quote for sports and life in general. He always used to tell us, the most successful people in life are those that are most comfortable in uncomfortable situations.
Absolutely.
I was like, wow, that is a great point, because who likes to be uncomfortable? No one does.
Nope.
No one. And the person that usually stands up, to kind of take that blunt, take that ease, and make everyone else's life a little bit easier, that person is the one that they kind of tend to look to.
Yep.
And, he's a little bit more respected, and that person just has, a little bit more proxy, a little bit more just kind of good vibes about them, because they're willing to take that pressure from others and put it on themselves,
Oh, yeah.
So,
oh, yeah.
That thing, just what you're talking about, dude. I love that quote, and I kind of try to live by that every single day.
Well, something to kind of piggyback off that, Jamie, is one of my sales mentors has drilled it through my head, and I've always been an introvert my whole life, which is kind of shocking considering now I'm on video and audio every week, and I do sales for a living.
For people that you don't know, and you're an extrovert for people that you know.
Well, it's a progression. It's a progression, but kind of piggyback off that quote that nothing great comes out of your comfort zone. Everything great comes out of your out of your comfort zone. And,
I definitely agree.
And it's the willingness to accept that you're gonna fuck up, but how do you learn from it, and where do you go from there?
Yes. Learning how to lose.
Yep.
That's a forgotten art. I'll give you a great example. I just moved out to New Jersey with a pregnant wife, and to talk to people about going solar on their homes. So I'm in the solar industry. I'm a solar consultant. So basically, I had to learn how to knock on people's doors that I don't know and explain to them that they're paying already for this program. And if you go solar, you help the environment, and you get a cheaper electric bill at the same time, and it costs $0 to do so. Right. They're like, what? Nothing costs $0. Something's going on.
Right.
So my story about this is, not to sound braggadocious or anything of that nature, I'm just naturally really good at a lot of stuff. I can just randomly pick something up, and I'll be like, wow, Jimmy's really good at it. Yeah. And, you get a lot of hatred and whatever before that. I was like, I can't help this. So anyways, there's been a couple things in my life that I wasn't very good at. And whenever that had happened to me, I kind of just like, oh, okay, I'm just not gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's the easiest way to that's the easiest way to think about it. Yeah,
exactly. So then what happened now is I come out here and I was feeling like I was struggling, I wasn't doing well, and I didn't like it and I hated it. And I thought to myself, I was like, wow. Throughout my whole 29 years of life, I've never been really bad at something, and then continued to work on it and work on it and work on it, and then become really good at it.
Right.
Yeah.
I've always just been kind of good, and then I just kind of practice it and it just enhanced it. But I never worked through being really, really bad at something originally and then becoming really good at it. And it's now happening. And so now it just gives you a whole entire different perspective.
It's refreshing to see, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's humbling in a sense, because you've never. It's just something you never felt.
Right.
And to go through that experience, it's just like, okay, it kind of gives you a greater appreciation for things, and it allows you to see, that we really are blessed, and everything that you have is for a reason, and you can earn it, and things aren't always going to be easy. So now I really know it's just like, hey, I know how to grind through something that I'm really bad at. I didn't quit. I'm still here. I'm still out here, and I made it through, and now I'm prospering. And it's a whole nother level of gratitude.
There's no better feeling than that, bro.
Oh no,
there's no better feeling. Knowing that your blood, sweat, tears, time, just absolute gumption, you got that W, and that W will stick with you for your whole life, your whole career. And it's one of those things where it'll probably be one of your biggest in the back of your mind. One of your bigger accomplishments. I know the birth of your daughter is going to be right up there towards the top, but as far as your confidence, your career, everything else goes, that's going to be one big, huge W.
Oh yeah, I mean, to be honest, and it sounds selfish, but I think people need to be a little selfish at times, because you can't be the best to others, and I can't be the best to my wife and my daughter if I'm not the best version of myself.
Oh, 100%. I could not. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah,
couldn't agree with you more. All right, man. Well, let's end it on that, man. Let's end on a fucking high note. Let's end on a high note.
Great.
Jamie,
let's get this pick'em going.
Oh well, yeah. We already did ours. Fire yours off. Yeah.
Okay. What, did you guys all pick the same games or what?
No.
I know the one game.
We kind of we picked our 3 pick'em games, and then we picked our paycheck game, and then our onions game. So start off with your first pick'em game.
Okay, I need some help with the scheduling right now. Can I get a little boost?
What are we looking at?
I'm driving right now.
Well, just to give you for instance, I took the Falcons over the Texans.
Okay, well, for my break the bank kind of one, I remember you kind of premised me on that. I'm definitely already going with the Lions over the Chiefs.
He's taking.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm ballsy.
I haven't heard that one yet.
When he told me this yesterday, I'm like, you know what? That's this week, but I'm going to let it fly.
Yeah.
And it's at Detroit, baby. Let's go. Pat Mahomes' first game indoors. Maybe slippery. He hates it. I don't know. We're hoping.
And we were kind of we were kind of split on the Iowa-Michigan game. It's at the Big House.
Yeah.
I took that as one of my pick'em games. I went Iowa over Michigan. Morgan. And I want to say Christian took Michigan in an upset.
It's an upset because they're ranked lower, but I really don't think it isn't much. But
no, certainly. I mean, Michigan scares me, man. I don't even know.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. Because what was the final between Wisconsin and Northwestern?
It was very close. And
that's disheartening to me. Like, Northwestern can go and shut down Wisconsin when they know they just run the ball.
Northwestern's defense is legit, though.
Michigan shows up with 3 down linemen against a run dominant team that has 6 linemen, that has 4 big country strong boys and 2 tight end tight sets.
Yeah.
And we got 3 down linemen. No, I do not want my outside linebackers taking on tackles. That just doesn't make sense.
Playing a cover 6.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense. Well, and I will say, I do hate Notre Dame with a passion. I respect the teams.
Yeah.
And they are very, very impressive.
Fortunately for us, they're not looking super impressive against Virginia right now.
Yeah.
But what's going to shock the shit out of you is when you look at the Wisconsin game. Wisconsin had 2 pick sixes too, and it was still close.
Wow.
It was still close.
That's insane.
And another game on the docket is Ohio State hosting Michigan State. I took that as my paycheck game. I think Ohio State's going to wreck Michigan State. It's going to be a 3-score game.
Oh, yeah. Ohio State's the real deal, unfortunately. They, I watched Chase Young, the DN. Their DNs are just dogs.
Oh, yeah.
They eat.
Yeah.
If you don't have tackles, and I still, even if you do, you're not blocking those guys.
No.
They're just monsters. And then, like I said, Ohio has done it better than anybody, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Their quarterback scheme, what they have, let's look at that. But they may not be the best NFL guys, but to win in college games, you need an athletic quarterback who can toss it. If you don't have and I've always said this too, if you don't have a legit first round drop back quarterback passer, then have an athlete, somebody who can make plays.
Who can make a play out of it.
Look at Ohio State's last quarterbacks. They got Justin Fields now. They just had JT Barrett.
Yeah.
They had Cardale Jones. They had Terrell Pryor.
I was going to say
Braxton Miller.
Yeah.
Yep.
Braxton,
goes down.
those guys.
Yep.
Those guys are elite
Haskins,
athletes at QB with the ball in their hands.
Yeah.
Like you're not tackling him in space.
Nope.
Haskins was probably the only exception to that because he was he broke the Big Ten passing records all up and down. But
he did.
But I mean, to me, Fields is like Haskins and JT Barrett kind of in one.
Yeah, mixed, dude. He's a stud, bro. I mean, I'm like, wow, this guy's a beast. I was like, where are they getting these guys? Why can't Michigan get somebody like that?
Now, we'll ask you on this last game here, Jamie.
Okay, hold on. I actually just parked.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna pick 3 games.
Okay.
And we'll do it. Did you? Do I have to pick college football for all of them, or
No.
what?
Nope. NFL, whatever.
Yep. Okay. And probably the hottest contest in the NFL this coming week is the Packers at the Cowboys, and we all know 2K is a huge Cowboys fan.
I'll take that role. I'll go Dallas. I'll buy
Dallas? All right.
Yeah, I'm going Dallas. You know what? I was a big time Aaron Rodgers guy. I anointed him the best quarterback in the league for a long time, and I think Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
We
absolutely agree.
That was a question I posed to these guys. I listen to a lot of other podcasts, and one of them is was it Pick Six? I think it was. It's a CBS Sports podcast, and ironically enough, Brady Quinn's on it, and he swears. And I think that's the most odd thing in the world to me to hear Brady Quinn swear. But they had a big ordeal where is Mahomes the most athletically gifted quarterback in the history of the NFL? And the only
in terms of being like a pure passer and combined with athleticism and pocket talent,
the most overall athletically gifted talent.
I mean, like if it's just on athleticism, I'm going Lamar Miller over him right now. But I mean, throwing the ball wise, when you mix it all together,
Lamar Jackson, you mean?
Yeah. What'd I say?
Lamar Miller.
Lamar Jackson, certainly.
Yeah.
The most athletic quarterback, and that's not even. I mean, this is Mike Vick.
Right.
No, right.
Time,
oh,
yeah. He threw the ball out of the stadium. Remember that power?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this podcast in particular, where they didn't go Mike Vick, they focused on Aaron Rodgers, and I mean they took wins. They threw wins out the window. They took championships out the window. It was, and basically, and I think the three of us kind of agreed was we need some more time.
Yeah.
We need some more time with Patty Mahomes. And I mean, shit, you look at Danny Dimes over there in New York, 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns.
I need to eat my crow on him as well. I was one of those chastisers of that pick. Now look at me,
dude. We all were, and you know what? It was against the fucking Tampa Bay.
So, but he balled out. He balled out.
Yes, he did.
He looked great. I can't take that away from him. He definitely looked like a stud, and without Saquon too.
Yeah. That and
finished it up without him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, his resurgence makes Evan Ingram in that top echelon of tight ends, because that's where he fucking deserves to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't.
Eli never really utilized him. Maybe a few times in the red zone. But I think that's going to be Daniel Jones's boy.
And
I may be one of the biggest Eli haters there ever was.
Yeah, me too.
I hate Eli, and I can't believe he has 2 Super Bowls
against probably the greatest quarterback of all time.
Against TB12.
But here we go. Take this. I mean, yes, he did that awesome comeback drive to win, but people like to conveniently forget the Giants defense that year was absurd. They created the NASCAR formation. They had 4 Pro Bowl DNs.
Yeah.
Justin Tuck, Strahan, Pierre Paul in their primes.
Of course, Tuck was awesome. He's a Notre Dame guy.
And, yeah, dude, they were studs. I was just like, they're getting pressure all day on Brady.
Yeah.
So that was a little, I don't know. I think that's kind of like Peyton has 2 Super Bowls, but his last Super Bowl for the Broncos, Von Miller won that Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
Peyton.
Yeah. That was Peyton. They won kind of with him, not because of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, I got an upset pick that I'm going with.
All right, lay it on us.
It's gonna sound weird, but I am actually I'm gonna pick Mississippi State over Auburn at 7 tonight.
Okay. I like that. I actually had Auburn over Florida next week, so that if that Mississippi State pick pans out, then I mean I might have to look at my Auburn pick again. So yeah.
Well, I say that because I know Auburn has one of the worst scoring offenses in the country. They are playing at home, but. Yeah. I like Mississippi State. They're tough.
Mm-hmm.
I like them. I definitely like them. Okay, I'm navigating over to my other favorite sport. I'm gonna do it to you guys.
Oh, late on us.
I'm gonna take my Tigers over the White Sox tonight.
Oh, jeez.
I love it.
Come on, Jamie.
I love it.
How about that pick?
Who's pitching for the Tigers?
Nobody knows.
No, the game's live. Oh shit.
It's probably Jordan Zimmerman.
Right no, it's Matthew Boyd's pitching for the Tigers.
Oh, we got a chance. Yeah. You got a chance when he's on the bump.
Yeah.
If Zimmerman's on the mound, forget it. Dude's won 1 game in 2 years. Get the fuck out of here. All right, Jamie, give us one more pick and we'll get out of here on that.
Okay. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go over to NFL. Let me see what's going on. Give me 1 second.
You're all right. Oh shit. Just to kind of give you guys an update, Notre Dame's up 28-17, just with 14 minutes to go in the 4th, and Virginia just held them on 3rd down, so Notre Dame will be punting. I feel like I'm doing play-by-play now. I can do it all, guys. I can do it all. Look sexy. Do play-by-play and a podcast. You know, not trying
Let's go.
Go ahead.
I don't want to take this one because it's easy. I can't believe they're both 3-0. The Pats and the Bills.
Right.
What kind of game is that? Nobody's picking the Bills to win that game.
Bills defense isn't. Yeah, I mean, Bills' defense is pretty good, but to beat the Pats, not happening.
Tom Brady has thrown for 1 billion yards against the Bills.
Exactly.
He's got like 7,000 TDs and 0 picks against the Bills.
Yeah,
so I'll take the Pats over the Bills.
I was saying it's funny you picked that game because that was my Onions pick from last week, and the reason why Jamie, your pick just went sour because the Tigers game went final. They lost 7-1.
Go Sox, baby.
Well,
they
both suck. So
they do. But I like my White Sox is like upside right now for next couple of years more than I like the Tigers.
They're batting an arm away.
I don't disagree. But you know what's disheartening as well is that you look around the guys that we used to have Verlander, we used to have we had J.D. Martinez, we have Castellanos, we've had studs. We just let everybody go. Just keep them all, and that could be our team right now. Yeah.
Well,
and those guys are just prospering wherever they want. There's no payroll. And
most of them are in Boston, guys. So if you really want to be a Tigers homer, you can just be a Red Sox fan.
I know. I hate the Red Sox and the Yankees, but I do like the Red Sox more than the Yankees.
Yeah, I'm a huge Red Sox fan. I can't stand the fucking Yankees. So
Well, I live in North Jersey, so I'm only like 30 minutes from Yankee Stadium.
Nice.
And I live 5 minutes away from MetLife, where the Giants and the Jets play.
There you go. Very cool. Well, Mr. Simpson, I want to say thank you for joining us. I think we're going to wrap it up. And if you're down, we'll have to have you on again.
Yeah, certainly. I just want to thank you guys for having me on. It's been a pleasure. I'll definitely check out the other podcasts, and then I'll give you some guys some feedback, and I'll be sure to share a link for everywhere for you guys as well.
Awesome, my friend.
Thank you.
Yep.
And 2K Crew, I know we went a little long this week, but you know what? We don't get a special guest every week, so fuck you. Listen, it'll be all right. And for everyone else, follow us on all the social media, do all that good shit. And Jim Rome, we're coming for you.